Hello and welcome everyone to the daily news analysis of 15th of February 2024। तो इम्पोर्टेंट आर्टिकल है आज की हिंदू न्यूज पेपर से वन बाय वन डिस्कस कर लेते हैं। पहले पहला जो आर्टिकल है, केरला हाउस रिक्वेस्टेड सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट टू अमेंड वाइल्ड लाइफ एक्ट टू टैकल ह्यूमन एनिमल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट। देन पेंशन कंसर्न, द इल्यूजन ऑफ चेंज इन पाकिस्तान, पीएम इनागुरेट्स Abu Dhabi's first Hindu stone temple। then Maldives registers 186 deportations including 43 Indians. MSP guarantees across crops can raise income and demand. The Kerala Houses request central government to amend Wildlife Act to tackle human-animal conflict. The Kerala Assembly on Wednesday adopted a unanimous resolution urging the centre to suitably amend the Wildlife Protection Act to mitigate human-wildlife conflict. Forest Minister A.K. Sansidran tabled the resolution for discussion as per the Rule 118 of the Assembly's Rule of Procedure and Conduct of the Business. Members across the Agile supported the resolution aimed at eliminating wildlife that trespass on human habitations, imperiling the life and property of citizens, destroying crops, and preying on livestock. UDF MLAs Majlis M- Manjilam Khurji, Ali, T. Siddiqui, Sunny Joseph, and I.C. Balakrishnan suggested certain amendments. Wildlife intrusions in habitation, abutting forest, and lethal attacks on residents had impelled the government to request the centre to make the law more contemporary. The resolution demanded that the central law empower chief forest conservators to use lethal force to liquidate wild animal that trespass on residential localities and pose an imminent threat to human life. It also requested the center to initiate scientific and human measures to control the wildlife populations. The next article is farming consensus. Farmers from Punjab in their thousands have assembled at the 3 points along the border at Haryana, where they have been supported from marching to Delhi. The protesters are demanding legally guaranteed MSP for the crops, debt waivers, cancellation of international agreements impacting the agriculture sectors, and a minimum pension of 5,000 rupees for farmers and agricultural laborers. Some of these demands were which raised during their earlier protest 21-22, which was called off after the BJP-led central government withdrew three controversial laws that had sought to reform the agriculture sector. The protest now is spearheaded by the SKM non-political, a splinter group of the body that had led the earlier protest. The split signifies fissures in the interest groups across Haryana, Punjab, and Western UP and Rajasthan. There are at least three other stands of protest gathering strength. Farmers in the Western UP affected by the Jewar Airport project and Yamuna Expressway are up in arms. In Haryana, Sonipat farmers are protesting land acquisition for power cables. The original SKM and several trade unions have called for a national rural and industrial strikes on February 16 with overlapping and additional demands that include the repeal of four labor codes. The government has opened talks with the Punjab farmers, but a legal guarantee of MSP appears unlikely. The police in Haryana and Delhi have stopped the farmers more than 200 kilometers away from Delhi as they are resolute that the farmers will not be allowed near the border of the national capital where they had laid siege in the 21-22. The MSP-based procurement by the FCI had been the bedrock of food security, but the case for its reform is strong. Surplus procedure of grains have benefited from the MSP schemes, but the scheme bypassed subsistence farmers in the poorer regions. The uneven geographical spread of procurement has also led to unsustainable farm practices in some areas, while farmers in other regions of the country are always on the edge of penury. All this calls for a revamping of support for farming, which is essential for regions that include national food security. This can be achieved better through wide political consultations and by encouraging the beneficiaries of the current system to diversify productions and increase productivity. The political undertones of the protest on the eve of the Lok Sabha election also cannot be overlooked. The farm sector needs a new model of public support. It cannot be left to the mercy of the market. The government should lead the efforts to create a national consensus on this question. Sorry. The next article is pension concern. The recommendation of the Central Board of Trustees of Employees Provident Fund Organization for a 0.1 percentage point increase in Provident Fund PF deposit for 23-24 should not be surprising, as it is in tune with what the EPFO did last year. However, the recommended rate of 8.25% is 0.4 percentage points lower than in 2018-19, a pre-election year like 23-24. If cleared by the Union Finance Ministry, it will involve the transfer of a record of 1,07,000 crore rupees to the EPF members, but the development has not pleased those with a long-standing demand for an increase in the minimum pension of 1,000 when in the opposition, the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party and had demanded that the pension has raised to 3,000. UPA government had proposed 1,000 a month on coming to power in 2014. On BJP carried out faithfully with effective from the September 2014 what was finally finalized by the predecessors, benefiting approximately 20.5 lakh pensioners a month ago. Months ago, the finance ministry had rejected a proposal to double the minimum price pension amount, citing a huge rise in the budgetary support needed under the Employees Pension Schemes EPS 1995. There is one more component in the budgetary support which refers to central government's contribution at 1.16% of wages up to an amount of 15,000 a month. For financial year 24-25, the ministry has projected 10,950 crore rupees as budgetary support against the revised estimate of 9,760 crore rupees for the current year. The finance ministry calculates that a 100% rise in the minimum of pension would be more than the proportionate increase in the overall budgetary support, as numerous pensioners has received much less than 1,000 rupees as monthly pension till 2014. Describing the EPSA as a contribution defined benefit social security scheme, the government said in the Rajya Sabha that all benefits were paid out of the accumulation through the contribution as per the fund valuation. As on March 31, 2019, there was an actual actuarial deficit, actuarial actuarial deficit. However, this agreement has been virtually demolished in the EPFO's annual report 22-23, notwithstanding in its reasons not to hike the minimums of pension. The government must note that the difference between the minimum and original pension was about 970 crore rupees for 22-23. So the doubling of minimum pensions is no strength. There are other key issues to such as equating the amount of a spouse pension on a par with what a member pensioner gets. In the case of a higher PF pension, the rules have been framed after the 2022 Supreme Court judgment, wherein most of the pre 2014 retirees would not be covered. There are around 4 lakh as such applications for higher pensions. A more expensive approach to PF pension matters will help senior citizens. The next article is the illusion of change in Pakistan. Pakistan's recent election was considered as a crucial one that would lead to a stable government with a clear mandate and political instability and the start of a process of political healing at the national level, especially in Punjab. The establishment, the military-dominated deep state expected the election would end the Imran revolt and Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf experiment. People expected the election process, polling, and the final announcement to be free, fair, and transparent. The 2024 election were anything but the above. According to the results of National Assembly, the PTI-backed independent candidates have won 93 seats, followed by the Pakistan Muslim League, the Pakistan People's Party, the Muttahida Qawami Movement, and the rest by the smaller parties and independent. The PMLN, PPP, and MQMP may gain a few more reserved seats, 60 for women and 10 for minority, depending on the seats they have won. Unfortunately for the PTI, it would not get that share as its candidates contested as independent. What do the above number mean for the parliament and national politics? The vote belonged to Imran Khan. The first key takeaway from the election is that the vote belongs to the PTI and Mr. Khan. Even though the party did not have a level playing field, Mr. Khan has been arrested and charged with numerous cases, and just because before the election two courts verdicts barred him from contesting in election, the establishment pursuing methods to discipline Mr. Khan for the May 9 riots in 2023 forced most of the second rung PTI leaders to leave the party. The in party in Punjab, Jahangir Tareen launched the Isteha- Istekhan-e-Pakistan Party (IPP) to dent the PTI's presence in the Pakistan's largest province. Similarly, in the Pakhtunkhwa region, Parvez Khattak, another confidant of Mr. Khan and PTI's former defense minister, formed a fraction in a final blow. The Election Commission of Pakistan debarred the PTI from contesting as a party on the pretext of the party failure to hold intra-party election and removed the bat symbol, which most of his trusted lieutenants have leaving multiple cases charged against him and he himself incarcerated. It was an outdoors task for Mr. Khan to find candidate to contest, keep up morale, and ask his cadres to vote. Despite all the above odds, the PTI-backed candidate won 93 seats for National Assembly, 18 more than the PMLN, and the PTI has secured over half of these seats from Punjab. Around 50 opposed the PML home ground in KP. Also, the PTI has swept with other PTI. However, both these things have not happened. This brings us the second factor of these elections, that the establishment will still can the call the shots. Ironically, it should still be happy that the PMLN has no absolute majority and has to work on a coalition to form the government in Islamabad and Lahore. An eminent element of political instability will work in the establishment's favor, whether the vote is what it wanted or against its plan. The establishment will continue its political energy engineering, and political parties will fall in line. Those who refuse will face the wall and the jails, as Mr. Khan's case shows. Nawaz's diminishing returns. The third aspect of the election is that Nawaz factor, or rather the lack of it. Nawaz Sharif came back to Pakistan on the establishment's approval. The plan was that Mr. Sharif's return would increase the PMLN's chance and dent PTI's, especially in Punjab. However, the return of Mr. Sharif has not catapulted the PMLN back into the driver's seat either at a national level or in Punjab, except for a few seats in Balochistan and KP. Most of the seats won by the PMLN PMLN come from Punjab. Even in Punjab, the PTI has enacted and are likely to form a government independently in these two provinces. Continuing political instability. The fourth takeaway is that the political instability of 2023 will continue into 2024. During 21-22, the PMLN and the PPP can together with a few other parties to form the Pakistan Democratic Movement to overthrow the PTI government. Eventually, the coalition overthrew Mr. Khan's government in April 2022, resulting in Shehbaz Sharif becoming the prime minister with support from the PPP and others. The PTI took to the streets against the PDM, creating political instability in Pakistan. However, the situation has not changed much, and now the PPP PMLN has agreed to form a government at the national levels along with the other political parties minus the PTI. The outcomes of this deal looks more like PDM 2.0. The PTI, the Jamaat-e-Islami and a few other regional parties have already announced filing cases in courts renouncing the results and taking to the streets. Eventually, the court will have to interfere in the cases of election results with the PMLN and PPP in government, PTI in the states cases in the provincial assembly. The PPP and JDYF has secured 11 seats each, followed by the PMLN 10, PTI-backed Independent 6, and others 13. Regional parties have been protesting against the results on the charges of rigging. Regional parties losing prevalence. Sixth is the curious case of the regional and religious political parties in 2024 election at the national level, except for the MQMP, 14 seats for the National Assembly and 28 for the Sindh Provincial Assembly. No other regional parties from the Sindh, Balochistan, KP have made an impact. The Grand Democratic Alliance, Adani Awami National Party, Balochistan National Party, and others from three provincial have made little or no impact. The PMLN LQ from the Punjab could win only three for the National Assembly. Equally important is in the case of religious political parties, Jamiat Ulema-e-Islam and a newly formed Tariq-e-Labaikat Pakistan. The could not win a single seat for the National Assembly. Its Emir Sirajul Haq, taking responsibility, has announced his resignation. The JUIF has survived with a few seats for the National Assembly and a few for the provincial assemblies of the seats. So friends, this is all for today, and we will meet from tomorrow onwards with new news articles which are relevant from UPSC perspectives. So till then, keep studying, and thank you for listening. Have a good day.